Hi folks, today we're going to be talking about the Bullseye Framework as a human-centered design method. I'm Aaron Aldemus, Program Director with the Consortium for Public Education. What is a Bullseye Framework? A Bullseye Framework is a method for setting priorities or ranking ideas. And in terms of the design cycle, the Bullseye Framework is typically part of the define and ideate phases. So here's a scenario. Imagine that you've just brainstormed a bunch of ideas. You probably can't act on every idea. And if you're working in a group, you'll need a way to prioritize ideas together in order to establish consensus as a group and then move forward. And that's where the Bullseye Framework can help. So let's talk process. Step 1. Create a bullseye with 3 rings. Make sure that the center circle isn't too large, because the center is where the highest priority ideas will go, so only a limited number of ideas should fit. Each ring should hold ideas without overlapping space, like this, and not like this. Step 2. Label each circle with your chosen terminology. Labels might include first, second, and third, or primary, secondary, and tertiary, or maybe even safe bets, potentials, and long shots. Step 3. Choose a facilitator. Step 4. As facilitator, ask members to arrange their brainstormed ideas in close proximity to the bullseye. Like this. This makes it easy for everyone to see all of the ideas at one time. Step 5. Then ask each team member to offer an idea to place on the bullseye. Step 6. If there are no objections or debate, then the idea can be placed in the agreed-upon ring. And then Step 7. Ask members to repeat Steps 5 and 6 until all ideas have been placed on the Bullseye Framework. If disagreement arises at any time, be sure to take time for discussion and resolution. Once the bullseye is completed, you can create a timeline to address priorities, or create groups to tackle top ideas, or ask participants to choose a priority idea to pursue on their own. A bullseye can also be used to sort or prioritize feedback, issues, or challenges. If you are working with a lot of qualitative data, like open-ended responses from a survey, you could facilitate a bullseye session with a smaller group that represents the survey audience. Or you could work with your team to prioritize the responses using the bullseye. Now let's talk in-person versus virtual. If you're using the Bullseye Framework in person, you can draw a bullseye on a whiteboard or use a sheet of flip chart paper, and then use paper sticky notes and markers to place ideas within each ring of the bullseye. If you're working in a virtual space, I recommend Jamboard and Padlet. You can create your bullseye in Google Slides, Google Drawing, or Microsoft PowerPoint and upload it to Jamboard as an image file. Likewise, you can upload a bullseye wallpaper for a Padlet workspace. Here's an example of a Jamboard using a Bullseye Framework. And here is the bullseye as a wallpaper in Padlet. Here are a few tips and tricks. Do display all ideas in one place. Clearly label each ring of the Bullseye Framework, and work together to determine the placement of each idea. Don't overcrowd the bullseye, or add ideas without discussion, or set too many top priorities. To review. Remember, limit the size of your bullseye in order to limit priorities. This method can be used individually or in a group. If working in a group, be sure to choose a facilitator to mediate decision-making. And when working with a large amount of feedback or brainstormed ideas, this method can help establish clear priorities and next steps. Thank you for checking out this video, and be sure to stop back for new episodes of Design Thinking for Education.